He stood there, staring at a fork on a dusty path he'd been traveling on, with a house nestled in between. The decision stared back at the weathered traveler who had not been in the mood to make a wrong choice.
Well, if I stand here any longer deciding, the sun's just gonna end up taking my choice away from me.
The man brought out a coin and fondled it in his hands.
Suppose this is the only use for a coin in the desert. Heads right, tails left.
Flipping the coin high into the air, nearly blocking out the sun, the coin landed back down under his glove with the weight of his life. Slowly the hand slid off like a trapdoor, revealing his destination.
Heads. Well, the house it is.
He felt bad that he was running away from the coin's choice, but he didn't have the stomach for difficult decisions at the moment. Before opening the door to the old, worn-out house, the man looked over his shoulder with worry back at the path he'd been traveling on. The heat warped every inch of the desert land before him, while the sun stained every rock red with fury. He wondered if he should be wasting his time trying to decide which path to take. He brushed off his worry and decided to scour the house for supplies, though he didn't expect much with how bad the outside looked. The old house reeked of abandonment. Various items littered the room, like jugs, tables, cutlery, and an old painting of folks he didn't recognize. He even found some matches on a shelf and pocketed them. Everything seemed to be forgotten. He was surprised time hadn't reclaimed the house. Still, the place reminded him of his home, the one he left while fleeing. He never had a whole lot, despite having the means to acquire more. He enjoyed the space his small home provided. Everything had a purpose, a use. His things were like his children, assisting and keeping him company till the day he would perish. Or at least that's what he had hoped. He ran his hand along the window ledge while his fingers collected its dust. He stared through the glassless window back out into the dusty desert.
Wonder how long I got. Maybe I should just take the coin's advice and be done with it. Of course, if it's the wrong choice, death will be knocking at my door, whether it be from desert or it catching up to me. Luck seems to be so cold these days. I was lucky to escape. I was lucky not to come across any creatures along my way, and most certainly lucky to have held on to my life. But where's the warmth in that? Do I really want to get lucky again and pick a path laid out by a coin?
The man looked to the door, waiting for a knock, but none arrived.
No knock from death today. Seems to be he's generous these days. Either that or he can't find me.
The man continued further into the house, into a room that looked like a bedroom. Out of the corner of his eye, a small figure huddled. He immediately drew his pistol and swung around, aiming the gun directly at the small creature. It was a dog, sitting in the corner, silently wagging its tail.
Don't startle a man like that, little guy. I could have easily ended your life, though in your condition that might be warranted. How much food or water has come your way? Poor thing, doesn't look like much. I see your tail has enough energy to keep wagging. Don't give me that look. I don't have any food or water for you, and I can't take you anywhere. I got my own problems to deal with.
The man could feel the pain welling up inside him. He had no reason to help the dog, and he knew if he left it there, it would surely starve to death. He knew if he left the dog there, its well-being would be on his mind till the day he died.
You remind me of an orphan kid in our town. Scrappy young fella. He made for great conversations. He was always begging for things, kind of like you. Not that I'm blaming you for it. The town did its best to help. Lot good it did, though, losing his life along with the town to that thing. I wish I could have saved him before It took him. Horrible sight to behold. Wouldn't wish it upon the worst of my enemies. I couldn't help the boy, but maybe I could help you.
The man aimed his gun back at the dog. The two stared at each other fiercely.
I'm gonna make your suffering go away.
His arm grew heavy. He could feel himself fighting to keep it up. His finger hovered over the trigger, hesitant to make a move. Every second that passed, the man continued to hold breaths until he broke, and a long sigh came out.
I can't do it. I don't think I have the courage to kill such an innocent thing. I'll let luck decide. Maybe it'll bring someone better to rescue you.
The man walked out of the house. He stood at the fork once more and stared at the left and right paths. Both looked the same. Both led to more desert. He stared at the right path and wondered if he should take the orders that the bland coin had given him. It still didn't sit right with him, and he wondered what more could he need to push him to choose a path. On the left path, the man could see a rabbit. His mouth began to water, and without thinking, the man brought out his gun and fired a shot. It hit its target and killed the rabbit. The man stared at the dead animal and then back at the old house.
Seems I've come across a bit of food. I may be a hungry man, but I believe I am due time for some company.
The man went back into the house and picked up the dog under his arm and carried it outside. The man noticed the dog's tail had begun to wag even more than before as he approached the left path.
Seems you're a fan of the left path. Me too, buddy. Me too.